Rituximab is a vaccine administered to cancer patients to destroy cancer cells. Last Thursday, Deputy Solicitor General of the Attorney General's Department, Lakmini Girihagama, revealed at the Maliga Kanda Court that the injection was manufactured with a liquid substance which was substandard. Newsfirst brought this matter to the people's attention on the 12th of October 2023. Experts too raised concerns regarding the drug at the time. This substandard medicine was also manufactured by the same company that manufactured substandard human immunoglobulin, that is Isoles Biotech Pharma. Its owner is now in remand custody with the group including the former health minister. 1,200 vials of this cancer drug named rituximab was supplied to state hospitals. The low-quality nature of this drug was confirmed when other drugs manufactured by the company were tested following the human immunoglobulin incident. The Deputy Solicitor General informed court of the details that were confirmed by the specialist medical committee that studied the medicine at the Apeksha Hospital in Maharagama. What was the Health Ministry's response regarding this serious matter?
සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශයේ විදිහට එවැනි කටයුතු පිළිබඳව තාමත්ම තදින් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා. ඒ සඳහා පරීක්ෂණයක් ආරම්භ කරලා තිබෙනවා.
How many patients was this drug administered to? What was the outcome? This is the Health Ministry's response.
මේ දැනට කී දෙනෙකුට විතර මේක දීලා තියෙනවද උන් භාවිත කරපෑලන සහනයක් සැලසීමට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශය හැම විටම ලබා දෙන බෙහෙත් ඖෂධ ඉතාමත්ම ගුණාත්මක ඖෂධ තමයි ජනතාවට ලබා දෙන්නේ. ඒවා පිළිබඳ පරීක්ෂා කිරීම නිරන්තරයෙන් සිද්ධ කරගෙන යනු ලබනවා. ඒ අනුව අවශ්‍ය ක්‍රියාමාර්ග ගන්නවා.
The ministry echoed similar sentiments when queried regarding human immunoglobulin. Since both these matters are now before courts, the ministry will be compelled to provide more scientific responses. Payments had been made for 3,985 vials of substandard human immunoglobulin. The payment amounted to an eye-watering 44 million rupees. The low-quality medicine had been purchased through an agreement signed between the owner of Isoles Biotech and the Health Secretary on the 4th of January last year. The total cost of the transaction would have amounted to around 1 billion rupees of taxpayers' funds. The drugs had made their way into the medical supply system since waiver of registration had been issued by the NMRA for this specific medicine. However, the NMRA later informed that the particular waiver of registration was a fraudulent one. Nevertheless, all these details will eventually come to light through judicial proceedings. When Newsfirst perused certain documents regarding this matter, we were able to ascertain information claiming that ingredients are imported from India to manufacture drugs in Sri Lanka. The NMRA was very well aware of the manufacturer in question. It is further fortified by the decision the NMRA had taken previously to reject permission for the company to manufacture drugs after it conducted quality control tests at the company. According to the details available, the substandard medicine had been manufactured in Sri Lanka. The question before courts is, how did the Medical Supplies Division distribute batches of medicine that were supplied fraudulently, claiming they were imported from India, when in fact they were manufactured right here in Sri Lanka?
ඖෂධ නියාමන අධිකාරිය ලියාපදිංචියෙන් තොරව ඖෂධ
If the NMRA grants approval to import a drug without registration, that is also a form of approval. The NMRA has forgotten that. There are many things to consider to give that approval. The country doesn't need a medicines regulatory authority to grant waivers of registration fees. The cancer drugs, human immunoglobulin, and all 183 drugs brought are with the fraudulent network. Fraud was committed with regard to all 183 drugs. We would like to tell the CID, seeking advice from clinical experts only will not reveal the depth of this fraud. 20 billion can be recovered only from this fake drug network alone. The Health Ministry should work to recover that 20 billion. The NMRA is still issuing WRs arbitrarily. If anyone thinks that NMRA has corrected itself, that is not the case.
ඖෂධ නියාමන අධිකාරිය නිවැරදි වෙලා කියලා කවුරු හරි හිතනවා නිවැරදි වෙලා නැහැ.
Specialist Dr. Ananda Wikrama is the current chairman of the NMRA. Newsfirst spoke to him regarding this complex matter.
ඖෂධ ලංකාවට ගෙන්වීම සඳහා
A basic requirement to bring medicine to Sri Lanka is to register it. An expert committee will consider facts about the medicine and decide whether it can be registered or not. If it can be done, it will be allowed. In some instances, when the registered medicine is not available, permission is granted to import medicine without registration. An expert committee is appointed for this purpose. They conduct an assessment that is not as thorough as the usual process, based on the requirements, and decide whether the medicine can be brought with the waiver of registration, and a special approval is granted. However, in the recent past, medicine was brought outside of that process. I won't comment on it further because it is an ongoing legal case. We have completely stopped the importation of drugs by avoiding the expert committee stage. So it should either be a registered drug, or if a non-registered drug needs to be brought for an emergency, it should be assessed by a committee first.
Is this not a case of closing the stable door? After the horse has bolted, what became of the patients who administered these substandard drugs? Who will be held responsible and accountable for this misdealing? Can we discount the value of a human life for monetary benefits?